So here we'll use order of operations to do simple problems with decimal numbers and fractions in it. So we have in parentheses 5.8 minus 4.3 the whole squared minus 2. So always parentheses first. So 5.8 minus 4.3, 8 minus 3 is 5, 5 minus 4 is 1, so that is 1.5 the whole squared minus 2. So it's 1.5, that's a single number, so we're going to get rid of parentheses, square it, minus 2. Now how do we square a number? It is the same as 1.5 times 1.5 minus 2. So we do multiplication first. 1.5 times 1.5. First we're going to pretend like the decimal points do not exist. So 5 times 5 is 25. Carry the 2 over, 5 ones are 5, plus 2 is 7. 5 ones are 5. We put a 0 here because we're multiplying with a 1. 5 ones are 5, 1 ones are 1. So we have 5, 7 plus 5 is 12, carry the 1 over, and we have 225. So now we have to place the decimal point. Now we count the total number of decimal places. There's 1 in the first number, 1 in the second number, so there are a total of 2 decimal places. So we get 2.25 minus 2. And now we do the subtraction. 2.25 minus 2 is 0.25. So that's 0.25. Now the next number, 4.2 divided by 4/3. So we have a fraction and we also have a decimal. So let's see. 4.2, and since that's a fraction, we multiply with the reciprocal. So 4.2 over 1. I'm going to convert it to a fraction, so it'll be easier if both the numbers are fractions. That's just one way of doing it. If you're comfortable keeping the number as a decimal number, it's still okay. But we're going to multiply and divide by 10. So what my goal is to get rid of the decimal point. So that becomes 42 over 10. So this is equal to 42 over 10 times 3 over 4. So we simplify this, and how do we multiply fractions? We cancel common factors first. So we have 2 times, and then that is 2 goes into 42, 21 times, right? 2 2s are 4, subtract, bring the 2 down, 2 1s are 2. And leaves a remainder of 0. So 2 times 21 times 3 divided by 10 times 2 times 2. That's a 4. So we cancel the 2's and nothing else cancels because the factors in 10 are 5 and 2 and then again a 2. None of these are divisible by 2 because they're both odd numbers. So we have 21 times 3, which is 63, divided by 10 times 2, which is 20. We can change this to a mixed number. 20 goes 3 times. Let's just do this. I can show you how this is. 20 goes 3 times into 63, leaving a remainder of 3. So that is 3 and 3 over 20. Now, even if you left it this way, as long as it's in the lowest terms, it's still okay, unless the question specifies that you put it in a particular format. Now, let's look at the next question. Now, if we converted both to the decimal form, that would be impossible, because if we go 4.2 divided by 4/3, if you simplify 4/3 and put it in the decimal form, we're dividing 4 by 3. So 3 times 1 is 3. Subtract 4 minus 3 is 1. And then you put your decimal point, bring the 0 down. 3 times 3 is 9. And then we have a remainder of 1. As you can see, it is a recurring decimal. So converting it the way it is, 4/3 into a decimal number, does not help, because we have a recurring decimal, and it's not easy to work with simplifying expressions with recurring decimals. So what we're going to do is first flip the fraction, 4.2, and then I go times 3/4. In the last method, what we did was we converted the decimal number to a fraction. Here we're going to convert the fraction to a decimal. 3/4 has to become a decimal. What that means is we're going to do long division. 3 is divided by 4. Whatever you're dividing by, the denominator is the outside. 3 is the inside. We're going to put the decimal point. 4 goes 0 times into 3. 3 minus 0 is 3. Add the 0 after the decimal point. You can add any number of zeros at the end. 4 sevens are 28. Subtract. To get a 2, add another 0. 4 times 5 is 20. Subtract, and you have a 0. Next, we have 4.2 times 0.75. So 42 times 75, and then we'll add the decimal point. 5 times 2 is 10. 5 4s are 20 plus 1, 21. 7 2s are 14. 7 4s are 28, 29. 0, 4, 5, 9, 10, 11, 3. So this is what we get. And the number of decimal places, 1, 2, 3. Remember, multiplication of decimal numbers, just multiply the usual and then count the total number of decimal places and put your decimal dot to match the count. So we need 3 decimal places. So our answer is 3.150. I'm going to just double check to make sure that the calculation is correct. Just make sure you're calculating, going over the multiplication and making sure. So just double check to see if the work is correct always. Next, 2.6 times 3/13 divided by 1/2 the whole squared. So let's see. I'm going to go 2.6 times, so 2.6 over 1. It looks like there are a lot of fractions, so we could change everything to fractions if that's what we're comfortable doing. Divided by 2 ones are 2, 3 halves the whole squared. So this is equal to 2.6 times 3/13. Now we got to square it first. So that's divided by 3 squared, which is 3 times 3, 2 squared, which is 2 times 2. So we have 2.6. Remember, that's 2.6 times 3 over 13. I'm going to change division to multiplication and write it as 2 times 2 over 3 times 3. I'm just leaving it in the factored form so I can cancel as much as I can. This cancels right away. Now if you look at these two numbers, it looks like 13 can cancel with 26, but let's just change 2.6 over 1 to a fraction. I could multiply both the numerator and denominator with a 10. So that'll not only get rid of the decimal point in the numerator, but also turns it into a fraction. So we have 26 over 10 times 1 over 13 times 2 times 2 over 3. 13 times 2 times 1 times 2 times 2 over 5 times 2 times 13 times 3. So I cancel the 13 and the 13, the 2 and the 2. If there's nothing left to cancel, that's when I put the numbers together. So I get a 4 over 50. So that's my final answer. So here, most of the numbers were in the fraction form. So it was easy to convert the one number, 2.6, into the fractional form because it's 2 and 6/10. Another way of doing it is 2 and 6/10. And then 2 times 10 is 20 plus 6 over 10. That's another way of doing it. But you could use this method where you're changing the number into a whole number, changing the decimal number into a whole number, and automatically that converts it into a fraction.